A physician 800 years ago wrote a prescription for the inner chatter, the loop that goes on in our minds, and it's not what you'd expect. That 2 a.m. inner chatter, that loop that you're trying to think out of by overthinking, this is why it never worked. Meet the Rambam, Maimonides, a 12th century rabbi, philosopher, doctor. He was the doctor to the Egyptian Sultan Saladin. And he, as a physician, treated the mind, body, and soul as one. This was for back then, this was kind of revolutionary because back then they thought that, okay, if you have a physical situation, it has nothing to do with your mind, and vice versa. If you have an inner chatter that doesn't stop, it has nothing to do with your body. But the Rambam was actually saying that it's all related, which, by the way, science now tells us 2026 that they have studies that show how it really plays out in reality, in our physicality. So this is mind-blowing. And this is what I want to share here with you, and the practice that you can take today, it's free, to stop that inner chatter and start living in a more harmonious and balanced way in your life. So he was talking, looking at my notes, he was talking about really that the restless mind is often a problem or a sign that your life is out of balance. So not necessarily the mind that is needing to be fixed, not necessarily sitting in another meditation. He was talking more about the fact that if you have that inner chatter, or if your mind is not stopping at 2 a.m., then you want to look into your day-to-day habits. And again, this is remarkable because he was talking about the perspective of looking at your sleep, looking at your movement, looking at your food, looking at your day-to-day habits, how much water you drink, all those things. He looked at it from the holistic perspective, which we all want to look into. And he was talking about moderation. He was talking about breathing. So really, he wrote a regimen, which is very large and big. He wrote a lot of things. He wrote a lot of books, by the way, but one that was called The Leadership of Health, or Health Leadership, which, by the way, all is written in my book, The Lost Wisdom of Rambam, which you can get in the link below. It's on Amazon. And grab your copy, because it talks about how you can take those principles of everything that he taught, how you can take them and apply them in your day-to-day lives, because we're living in 2026 whenever you're watching this. So he really wrote in his regimen, he prescribed sleep, movement, food, breathing, moderation as really a prescription to taking care of your mind and your soul. And the cure he was talking about was curing all of it, and the mind and the body together. So what he was teaching, and this is the practice that I want you to take out of this video, and again, you can start doing it today. He called it the middle path. And the middle path really means that you want to stay in balance. He talked about middle path for two things. He talked about middle path physically, and he talked about the middle path emotionally, which we're not going to get into now, but really he emotionally, he was talking about that from the perspective of if somebody has rage, or if somebody has deep grief, or if somebody has deep depression, what do they do then? So he talked about the middle path, that you don't want to have too much of one emotion. You don't want to have too much, which clearly makes sense, right? You don't want to have too much of rage. You want to make sure that you're coming back to the middle path. So that's the middle path he was talking about. But in our case and in our scenario, what I want you to try to start doing is the middle path. Pick one one area. Start with one. It's really important because a lot of times you want to fix everything. You don't need to fix everything. You want to fix one thing at a time. So pick one area in your life where you feel like that is out of balance, and do it this week. Do it for a whole week, 7 days. If it's your sleep, if it's your food, if it's your movement, if your breathing is shallow, whatever the case may be, choose one area that you're going to focus on, and just nudge yourself towards the middle path. Meaning, and again, we all fall into it. I specifically, personally do that too. If there's one area, I'm like, oh my God, like if it's like walking, I used to have like the 10K walk and steps and whatever, and I stopped, and now I'm like looking at my statistics, and I'm like, oh my God, no, I need to go back to the 10K. And honestly, with my schedule and the way life is working for me in this season, 10K is not going to work for me. 10K steps every day is just not going to work. So instead of doing that and saying, oh my God, like I have to get it done, and pressuring yourself, don't do that. That's completely the opposite of what we're talking about. The middle path talks about what is the middle or the balanced thing that I can start doing now. So let's say in your example, you're taking your food, and you might, totally an example, let me know in the comments, by the way, if there's any other example that you want me to refer to, and I'm happy to help you tweak it and get into the middle path. And so let's say you're taking your food, and your food, let's say you are, because of your lifestyle, because what's going on, you order or you eat out 7 days a week, and you want to, and no judgment, by the way, if you do that, God bless you, but you want to start cooking your own meals and you don't know how to do that. So instead of taking, I'll start every day, like my 10K steps, you can think about what is the middle path for you. Can you do it 1 day a week? Can you do it 2 days a week? Can you do it 3 days a week without that like throwing you off and really getting you off balance and stressing you out? If that's the case, then this is your middle path. So then you commit to those 2 or 3 times per week where you say, you know what, I'll just block an hour and a half on a Sunday and I'll prepare some meals, and that will keep me for 2 or 3 nights this week, and all the rest, fine, I'll continue eating out. You see what I'm talking about? So he really talked, and I mean, from the name you understand it, he talked about the middle path, which is really not doing anything in extreme, because when we do that, then we pressure ourselves on the other side. So yeah, you might be excited to change your physicality and your body by eating more at home, but on the other hand, if you pressure yourself to do something that doesn't work with your schedule or with your lifestyle right now, with the season you're in, it doesn't make sense. So you're kind of like, it doesn't make sense. You want to find the way that is the middle, and that's what the Rambam was talking about. And just to remind you that really the understanding that he was talking about, he talked about the mind being quiet and relaxed and rested when your body is quiet, relaxed, and rested. So that's how you want to look at it. So again, if you're freaking yourself out because you want to have 7 days a week of eating at home and you can't, you're not quieting your mind. You're doing the opposite, right? So just remember to look into the middle path, choose one area in your life, walk to the middle of that specific area every week, add one more thing, and just build those habits incrementally and see what happens. See how your life changes and how you improve both your mind quality, your mental health, and of course your physical health. If you like this kind of content, comment below, let me know so I can make more of these type of videos.